So we are talking to Gloria today. Gloria, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, thanks for joining us. I hear you would like
Great,
to.
thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. I'd like to. Sorry, I can't talk today. I heard you wanted to go over your near-death experience story that you have.
Sure, definitely. Not a problem.
So, where would you like to begin? You want to go back to the beginning?
Sure. It was quite a while ago. I'm 56 now, and it happened when I was 22, about 34 years ago.
Yeah.
I was driving home from a friend's house. I had a wedding to go to the next day, and so I'd left early, and I was alone in Weymouth, Massachusetts, at South Shore, south of Boston. And so it was like midnight and just driving along, and I don't remember it at all. I don't. But apparently I was told by an expert that a Chevrolet celebrity came into my lane and hit me head on. He was a drunk driver.
Mm-hmm.
And all I remember, I don't remember the accident per se. I woke up 2 days later, so I was out pretty much. On morphine for like a week, it was touch and go there for a while, they said.
Yeah.
So before I woke up for the first time and saw my parents there with me, I opened my eyes and I saw the room I was in, where the bed was, where the machines were, where the door to the bathroom was, where everything, very detailed, before I woke up and actually saw the room. So, and the machines weren't hooked up to me. They were just there. And the door opened and in came this bright white light. And the previous year and 2 years and 3 years, a person in my family had passed away. First it was my cousin, then it was my grandmother, and then it was one of my uncles. And I didn't take any of those deaths very well. I was very young at the time, and
Yeah.
I was, really pissed at God. I grew up a good Catholic girl, but when we took my cousin Peter, he was so young, I didn't understand. It was like, no. I was angry. So in walks the white light, and then in comes Peter, Graham, and Uncle Dante. And they walked in what they were wearing at their wakes, and they looked fabulous. They looked really great, all tan and happy and younger than they were. I mean, Peter was already young, but, my grandmother and my uncle looked a little younger, like in their prime, you'd say. And they came up to my bedside, and they didn't touch me or anything, but they looked really happy, but there were tears at the same time.
Correct.
And I mean, I didn't know what that meant, but they said, Glo, we love and miss you, but it's not your time yet. And that's when I woke up and saw my parents for the first time, 2 days after my accident.
Wow.
So
did they look like they were, let's say, in their mid-30s or 20s? Do you know what age range they looked
Well,
in?
my cousin was 27 when he passed anyway, so he was young anyway. But I wouldn't say that young.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I don't know, because my grandmother was 91 when she passed, so
yeah,
she had a really good full life, but she looked like maybe how old she was when I was a baby,
Yeah.
A younger grandma. Yeah.
So this do you have any recollection of leaving the body, or were you just there looking at all this as it happened?
I really wish I did have a recollection of leaving the body. I would have liked to see that, but
yeah.
No, it was from my point of view while I was lying in bed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But it was very vivid, I'm guessing.
It was extremely vivid, like it was happening at that exact moment, which I believe it was. even now, so long later, I get bits and pieces, like in my dreams, or just like walking around one day, and this memory will hit me of before, right after the accident, when like the EMTs were there on the scene.
Yeah.
And then me in the emergency room, I recall seeing my legs like flail in front of me, and one of my doctors were there because I had deep lacerations in both my legs.
Mm-hmm.
I had some pretty gnarly scars. So yeah, they were trying to keep my legs still so they could stitch them up, but so like there's that memory that keeps popping back, but I don't remember the accident at all, and I really don't want to, because then I don't think I'd want to get in a car.
Well, of course. Well, and going back to the incident that got you, in the hospital, I think your experience actually brought a positive side of what happened. The bad thing happened with the accident, but at the same time, having this experience brought some lightning, if you want to put it that way. Some comfort, maybe?
Most definitely, yes. Needless to say, I was no longer angry with the Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
Understood so much better, and felt really thankful and grateful that I'm one of his favorite people, because I got a second chance.
Amen. Well, you know what? Well, a couple weeks ago, one of our close aunts, she's 56 years old. She was just having a normal day, and she started having a seizure. Come to find out, she had a brain aneurysm, and
oh my goodness,
they took her into surgery, and they had to put her in a coma to heal. And unfortunately, she just passed about 5 days ago.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
That's horrible.
But I always think about, what she's well, I know what she's experiencing now, of course.
Yeah.
But what she saw, or if she saw anything while in the coma, or leading up to her passing, and that's always has me just fascinating. And I know she's in a much better place, and the same with your relatives or anybody else's. And it's but you always question, why, Lord? Why so young? 56 years old. I mean, that's a young age. I mean, 70 to me is like 40. I mean, 70 is not even old,
right?
Nowadays, because our science and our medicine and everything. But it's, it's just one of those things that happens. And like with the vision that you got, many people have very similar experiences or visions, and some are more in depth than others. Some are not so good, but the ones that aren't so good are still real and can be a wake up call for some people.
Exactly.
And it's, I haven't had one. I don't think anybody wants to be in a position where they have to have one, but if you get to experience one, I can just say, it's a blessing in a way, because it can profoundly change your life for the better. And I hope that's what it did to you. I'm sure it has.
Sure did.
That's awesome. That is
totally,
awesome.
because clearly I was supposed to stick around and do something, in my lifetime, or maybe one of my kids will do something, fabulous and historical. So,
well, there was a reason, there was a reason. And I think your relatives were there to give you reassurance, like, hey, they're still here. They're still around, but your mission is not done. It is not done. But
I get it.
But no, I look at this, and you see it the same way. Even though our loved ones have passed, this is just, I say, just look at this as a vacation. We got to deal with them for eternity, So just look at it as a break, just as a chill out period. Oh, well,
you're right.
Well, I appreciate your story. That's very comforting to hear that one.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very soothing. But thanks again, Gloria. Is there anything else you would like to add for anybody who's hesitant or wants to tell their story, but they don't?
Oh, gee.
It can be a tough one.
I would say yeah, it could really be very hard to do depending on the individual. I'd just say, try to be brave, because you can maybe help someone with their experience, and maybe better their own understanding
Yeah.
of what goes on in something like that. Yeah,
Well, thank
that's
you.
about it.
Well, thank you very much, Gloria. I'm going to keep you on the phone for a second here, but thanks again.